Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mr. Carnage, and in this video we're going to talk about some interesting things. Seems to be confusion on a few fronts, and maybe explaining a few of these things might help some people better understand. So I just figured we'd jump right into it. So, as you all are fully aware, GPU shortage, right? Semiconductor shortage, etc. And last week, Intel said that they are going to basically lay down $20 billion in the United States to bump production of chips and semiconductors, which obviously means more chips. 2 days after that, the TSMC said that they're going to throw down $100 billion to basically meet demand, because obviously they're competitors, Intel, TSMC. But ultimately, what does that mean for us? Well, as of right now, nothing. They increasing chip production is a good thing, obviously, on both fronts. But unfortunately, graphics cards falls under the category of a low end of the spectrum, so to speak, considering that this is hitting car manufacturers as well as government tech, things like that, that requires precedence over stuff like video cards and CPUs. So unfortunately, even with them throwing all this extra money down, increasing productivity, etc., for the gaming world, it doesn't really mean a lot for us in the short term. But in the long term, it could mean that we may never see as big of a drought as we have. But the also problem is that making these chips is water heavy. And in Taiwan specifically, they've been in a drought for the last few years. So they've actually got restrictions on how much they can do themselves, since it's a water heavy industry. So since their reservoirs are extremely low, the government obviously, they put stipulations on what they can and can't do. So half of their production, regardless, has been shut down because of that. So that is a problem in itself. So thinking, well, on the other end of the spectrum, Intel, an American company, going to be able to pump out chips. I wouldn't look to Intel to be helping companies like AMD and Nvidia. Obviously, they're competitors. So if Intel is bumping out chips, mostly you can assume that they're going to be going into Intel processors, and with the launch of the discrete video card that Intel keeps flaunting that it's going to release at any time, you can imagine those chips are going to be used in that as well. So if you're thinking any of the things that I'm thinking is going to help NVIDIA or AMD in the long term, just nothing on the horizon yet. Intel could take this opportunity to make good video cards and pump them out. If they can flood the video card market with their own video cards that have ray tracing, any technology close to DLSS, and if they have a good amount of RAM on them, you can imagine people are going to give them the opportunity. But we haven't seen full benchmarks yet, so we don't know exactly what their card can and can't do. We've been told, and this is all hearsay rumors, that they bench a little worse than the AMD 6900X T. I don't know. I haven't seen for myself, so I don't want to give out hearsay. But if that is the case, then that means not only are they behind AMD, but that means they're massively behind NVIDIA, because AMD is not even close to NVIDIA yet. They are catching up, and they're doing it fast, but not fast enough, I think, for most gamers. AMD is still got a ways to go before I think anybody will take them serious in the video card market. They are working on a technology like DLSS. I do know that they've kind of learned their lesson with the bottlenecking of their video cards, specifically their Vega. Simply that, throwing a bunch of stream cores and RAM on a card doesn't make it great. It does for mining. That's why AMD's mining cards are actually, most miners will tell you they're better than NVIDIA. Just depending on the card. But there you go. They do have a purpose. So we're going to find out in the short term what that means. Pretty much for the two big players in the video card market now. If Intel can come in, I think, with a video card that's priced decently, and I don't think they will. We've known Intel throughout the years. They're the type of company that they really love their stuff, and they like to put a price tag on it. So I don't expect them to release a video card that's gonna be way less than anything you can get from AMD or NVIDIA, and at least at the beginning. I think if Intel really wants to wow people, that would be the best thing they could do, is make video cards and price them a couple $100 short of AMD and NVIDIA, just to get people to buy it, try it out, see what it's like. Because obviously the more people that buy them and bench them and, etc., the more we'll learn about them, over the course of the next year or so. So, that being said, it seems to be a never-ending pool, so to speak. Now, the auto industry and the government industries, especially contracts, are priority. They're going to be the ones getting the new round of chips first. So unfortunately, no change in computer components. I'm not sure also what that really means for the phone industry right now. I do know that it's becoming increasingly harder to find decent phones at a good price. A lot of the phones you find when you go to a phone dealership is, cheap crap, Same way if you go to like Amazon and you look at tablets, it's hard to find a decent tablet. Most of them are those cheap Chinese tablets, and a lot of them lately have been tablets that guys are buying from Wish.com, the $10 tablets that say that they're something but they're really not. I ran into that a couple of times. So when buying electronics right now, use your head. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is. And definitely one thing to stay away from is a deal that's too good to be true. It's just how it's going to have to be. So, what do you guys think? Do you think this is going to change anything, them throwing down all this money to increase productivity? I don't think so, at least in the computer and electronics market. Just considering that they're talking about cars for the 2022, that they had to cut production, so there'll be a lot of smart cars and hybrids, things like that, that won't be being produced for 2022 because of the shortage. So definitely is a shitty thing, especially because if you notice car prices too, they're actually starting to go up as well because of the chip and semiconductor problem. So let's hope that some fix comes along soon and definitely, fixes at least half the problem. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you think it's going to help, if you're with me, you don't think it's really going to make a difference, especially in the short term, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So I'll see you in the comment section. If you like and subscribe, that would be great. If not, okay. That's, the good thing about free will, I guess. So we'll catch you on the next video.